In this video, we'll solve the following two equations by using the quadratic formula. Let's look at the first one. First, we want to turn this equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That means we want to leave one side equal to 0. So I will subtract 4x on both sides, so that the right side is 0 here. The left side, the first term is the x squared term. So x squared, then it's the x term, minus 4x, then it's the constant term, which is the number term, minus 8. Okay, now that the equation is in the standard form, we can use the formula, okay, which is x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So what is a, b, and c here? A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. B is the coefficient of the x, which is negative 4. And c is the constant term, negative 8. So now all I have to do is plug in those three numbers into the formula. So first, negative b is the opposite of negative 4. So it's positive 4 here. The negative of negative b, or the opposite of negative 4, right? It's 4. Plus or minus square root of b squared. B squared is negative 4 squared, which is positive 16, minus 4 times a is 1, c is negative 8, all over 2 times a is 1. Okay, now let's simplify this formula. 4 plus or minus square root of, okay, so it's 16 plus 32. That is 48 over 2. Keep going. We can actually simplify square root of 48, because as far as I know, 48 is 3 times 16. So the 16 can come out as a 4. Right, so 4 square root of 3 is square root of 48 simplified over 2. Okay, now we want to simplify this expression. You can see 4, 4, 2. There's a common factor of 2 here. So you can cancel out everything by 2. So that becomes a 2, that becomes a 2, that becomes a 1. So it becomes 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. Another way to see it is you divide every term on top by 2. You'll get 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. You have two real solutions here. Now let's look at problem B. Okay, problem B here. First of all, there are fractions involved. We don't want to deal with fractions. So first step, I want to get rid of the fractions. So I will do that by multiplying every term by the common denominator. So we have two fractions here, 3 and the 6. So the least common denominator here between 3 and 6 is 6. 6 is a multiple of 3 and 6. Right, so I'm going to multiply every term by 6. So 6 times 1/3 becomes a 2. 2y squared equals 6 times y. That will give you 6y. 6 times 1/6, that's a 1. Okay, now we turn this equation into an equation without any fractions. And we can solve it by using the formula. So I'm going to just move everything to the left side because I want to leave the y squared positive. It's easy for simplification. So I have 2y squared minus 6y minus 1 equals 0. It's in the standard form. We can use the formula. A here is 2, B is negative 6, C is negative 1. So plug it into the formula. First, x equals negative b, so it's the opposite of negative 6. So 6 plus or minus square root of b squared is 36 minus 4 times a is 2, c is negative 1 over 2 times a, 2 times 2. Okay, simplify this expression. You have 6 plus or minus square root of 36 plus 8. That's 44 here over 4. Okay, square root of 44 could be simplified because 44 is 4 times 11. This 4 can actually come out as a 2. Right, so you have 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 11 over 4 here. So now these three terms has a common factor we can cancel out. It's a 2, right? They have a common factor of 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the final answer, simplified version, is 3 plus or minus square root of 11 over 2. Okay, now on your own, I want you to solve this equation by using the quadratic formula. So pause the video now, and when you're done, click play. And I'm going to review the answer in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so first we want to get rid of the fraction by multiplying both sides by the least common denominator. So the least common denominator between 6 and 4 is 12. How do I get that? Well, 6 is 3 times 4, right? And 6 is 2 times 3, excuse me. And 4 is 2 times 2, and they have a common factor of 2. So you'll only need to multiply that number once to find the least common multiple. So 3 times 2 times 2, that will give you 12. That's one way. Another way is just by observing that the least common denominator is 12. Anyway, I'm going to multiply every term by 12. So 12 times 1/6, that's 2x squared. 12 times 2, that is 24, 24x. 12 times 4, that's 12 times 1/4, that's 3. Okay, so I have this equation. Now I want to turn it into the standard form. So 22x minus 24x plus 3 equals 0. Now a here is 2, b is negative 24, and c is 3. Now let's solve this equation using the formula. X equals 24 plus or minus square root of negative 24 squared, 576, minus 4 times a times c over 2 times 2. So simplify. 24 plus or minus. So you have 24 plus or minus square root of 552 over 4. Now let's try to simplify this square root of 552. First, I know there's a 4 in it, so it's 4 times 138. Okay, now 138, I know there's a 2 in 138. So that's 2 times 69. Okay, 69 is 3 times 23. That's it. Okay, we only have one perfect square if we factor 552. That's this 4. So I'm going to factor out the 4. So the 4 will become a 2 on the outside, plus or minus. So 2, and inside will be this 138. 138 over 4. Okay, so every term will be divided by 2 here. So this is 12, this is 1, this is 2, so it's 12 plus or minus square root of 138 over 2. I hope you got it correct, and I will see you in the next video.